Hi all, just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about our work from last week and then also what we have coming up this week. So last week we talked about human resources and focused on some of the laws, regulations, et cetera, that impact the healthcare industry with regard to HR. We also talked a little bit about shortages, so nursing shortages, nursing assistant shortages, medical assistant shortages, et cetera. So there is, obviously that is an area of the industry that a lot of folks have interest in. If you are an HSA major, you will get an entire class on human resources, which usually makes some folks happy. This is an area that a lot of our students enjoy learning about. So more to come on human resources. This is, again, kind of just a taste of that. One other thing I wanted to mention, we did have a group case study last week. If you have not yet submitted yourself and peer assessment, please submit that. I can't grade your group's work until I have everyone's assessment, and I know that I'm missing quite a few. So please get that in. Also, I haven't taken a look at them yet, but I know that one group had some question about the where the info was found in the book. So it was as stated in the classroom, as long as you have the third edition of the book. Sorry, I had to take a look at the book. The third edition of the book, which is the one that we should be working from. The case study itself was found on page 533, the questions on 534. So if you did not do those sections, it's was a case study called, I think, like Such a Nice Young Man or something like that. So if that is not the case study that your group did, please get in touch with me, and or I may reach out to you before you see this, and we'll go from there. So for next week, and again, please get those self and peer assessments in. So for next week, or this week, we'll be talking about operations as well as quality and process improvement. So you've got some readings in the classroom, you got a chapter out of your book, just a short video about quality improvement. Our discussion this week is focused on operations. Our written assignment is focused on quality improvement. So what you're going to want to do is, kind of dig into quality improvement a little bit. You're going to be talking about what's its role and function, is it effective? But then what I want you to do, and this is where I've had some confusion in the past from students, you want to choose one of the process improvement methods that I've listed here, continuous quality improvement, TQM, Six Sigma, Lean, or even another one that maybe you have researched, and then talk specifically about that method. Talk about the method. How does it work? How does it apply to healthcare? Has it been effective in healthcare, etc.? You can, even if you can find a case study about the use of that method, and there are plenty of them out there, that might be helpful as well. So the thing is, and this is, I talked about this in last week's Ed Puzzle, I believe, please make sure that you're referencing your resources in text. So you need to have in-text citations. For example, when you're talking about Six Sigma, that's not something that is your original thought. That's, Six Sigma is something that you've learned about this week, or maybe that you've learned about in the past, but you need to cite that. If you are telling me what you've learned about Six Sigma, you need to tell me where you've learned that from. So very important. And if you have questions about how to cite in text, how to use references, etc., let me know. Also keep in mind, and one of the other problems that we see in student work is that they're using direct quotes very extensively. So direct quoting 30–40% of the material. So direct quote means that you've copied it verbatim out of a resource, and then you're just using quotation marks around it and citing it. You never want to have more than 10–15% maximum direct quoted material in any written paper. So and you really shouldn't, from an APA perspective, you shouldn't, or in any perspective actually, you shouldn't be direct quoting things that you can state in your own words. So sometimes, and I think I mentioned this last week as well, so if you're stating statistics, like for example, if you have read a case study and you found that 7 hospitals use Lean Six Sigma, and they found a 87% performance rating or whatever. That's a statistic. So just taking that directly out of another resource is fine, and you can direct quote that. But if it's something, don't use direct quotes to be lazy about paraphrasing. If if it's something that you can paraphrase in your own words, please do that. It not only is appropriate from an APA and a writing perspective, but it enhances your own learning. I know that you understand it if you can take the info from a resource and restate it in your own words. So that's a scoop with that. I will talk a little bit about a few of the quiz questions. So the first quiz question, I have 3 of them that I'll go over here. First one is, major federal law affecting human resources primarily addresses, and there's 3 different answers and then all of the above. So protections for applicants and rights of employees, safety of the workplace, and accommodations for people with disabilities. So all of those are correct. There are laws in place that impact all of those things and help to protect people in the workplace and provide them with appropriate accommodations as needed. So the correct answer in this case was all of these are correct. Next question is, human resources staff use of third-party websites can assist in, and the options are recruitment, retention, employee performance appraisals, recruitment and retention, or none of these are correct. So, when you're thinking about a third-party website, think of, a website, something external. We don't use that. I mean, some places may use that in relation to performance appraisals, but that's somewhat unlikely. We don't really use that with regard to retention, but we do use third-party websites with regard to recruitment, things like Indeed.com, Monster.com, HigherEdJobs.com, all of these different, LinkedIn, all of these different websites can help us recruit people, bring people into our organization. So our correct answer there is recruitment. And then the last question here, human resources decisions need to be strategic because of, so the answers were increasing competition amongst HSOs or health service organizations, the need to analyze jobs, trends in using incentive compensation, or all of these are correct. So our correct answer here is increasing competition amongst health service organizations. And so HR folks, HR directors, and folks that work in the HR setting really need to be strategic about what they're doing with regard to recruitment, retention, etc. There is a lot, and actually Pittsburgh is a perfect market to look at. There is a lot of competition between organizations, not just for patients, but also for staff. So if human resources is has a very calculated and strategic way that they are recruiting people, offering bonuses, offering other types of incentives, having a true strategic plan and a goal in mind can really help an organization to be prepared to deal with that competition. So, there are some organizations, some areas of the country where there aren't a ton of jobs available. They don't necessarily have to be as strategic about what they're doing to draw in employees, but in a marketplace like this that is very much saturated with healthcare, it's being strategic about how you recruit and retain employees is crucial in the human resources world. So that's all I have for this week. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, I will see you in the classroom. Thanks.